Happy New Year, everyone. This is Kim here with an ad-free Encore show for you this week of our very first full-length episode, which is called All About a Donkey plus Meet the Sisters. If you haven't heard this one yet, you're in for a treat. Stay with us. My brother-in-law, Jack, really loved baseball, and my sister. And not to sound corny, but I think they really hit a home run when they found each other. Sadly, we lost Jack in September of 2018, but not before he left behind some really great legacies of laughter and love, with a big emphasis on the laughter part. The story you're about to hear from three of my sisters is all about a donkey, and we're dedicating it to Jack because it was his idea in the first place. Doesn't every household need a donkey? Welcome to How in the Hell Did I Get Here? Quick note, today's episode contains swear words. Hey, it's Kim, and since this is our second episode, I wanted to give you a little more backstory here and a quick introduction to myself and my sisters. The first thing you should know is that we're all a little witchy, in a good way. As in, we all have excellent intuition, strange and unexplainable things happen regularly in our lives, and we all agree we grew up in a haunted house. I'm your host, Kim A. Floden, and hopefully you learned about me in episode 1. If not, it's there for you. I'm the oldest of 7 and have 4 sisters. We all shared a room growing up and still, or due to that fact, managed to become and remain good friends. I don't get to see my sisters very often, but I can't think of another group of women I enjoy hanging out with as much as them. My sister Carrie is second in the lineup and is just 17 months younger than I am, and as you heard, sadly, recently widowed after a great 25-year relationship. She lives in Florida now. We grew up in the Midwest, and some of us are still there. And this story happened shortly after Jack passed, and my sisters Jenny, Erin, and Sky went to stay with her during that time. Carrie is industrious, smart, and funny. She's the family genealogist, so we know for sure we are descendants of one of the first women to be tried as a witch in Salem. No joke. It was our 6-time great-grandmother. Carrie worked in the restaurant business and opened and owned her own cute cafe in downtown Minneapolis before moving to Florida. Jenny is the third sister and fourth in line in our family. She's a brainiac. Well, we don't really have any dummies in our family, to be honest. And she's fun, funny, and cagey. She's also someone you want on your side and to stay on the good side of. You don't want to piss her off. Not to say she won't have your back, because she will, in spades. She loves animals, has an interesting job in the medical field, is a great mom who's also getting her MBA and helping to make this podcast. Erin is right after Jenny, 5th in the family and the 4th sister. She is the performer. She was until recently a lead singer in a rock and roll cover band, and she's damn good. And I'm not just saying that because she's my sister. She's got a heart of gold, is a natural helper, super empathetic and intuitive, smart and funny. She's also recently married, a mom, and the only one of us who is a grandma. Sky is the baby of the family and is super busy with her career, adorable kids, fur babies, friends, and life, so we may not hear from her quite as often as the other sisters. But when we do, it will be a treat. She has an infectious laugh and she's super fun and funny. She also throws a great party, loves to travel, is crafty, has a great eye for decorating, and is fascinated by all things medical in nature. In another life, or maybe still in this one, she would be a medical examiner. Back now to Carrie, Jenny, and Erin, and that donkey.
The whole thing started just because I wanted to tell them a funny story, basically a Life with Jack story. So I was just telling them that a couple months earlier, Jack and I were just sitting watching television, but all of a sudden Jack goes, "We should get a donkey." Like, no, we shouldn't get a donkey. And you got to bear in mind that neither one of us knew anything about donkeys, had ever spent any time with a donkey, possibly couldn't identify a donkey if one came strolling through. So, and I'm like, no, we're not getting a donkey. He goes, but a donkey would be great. We could keep it in the backyard. It would be a company for Daisy. Daisy would love having a donkey. And I'm like, oh, Daisy would not love having a donkey. How would we keep a donkey in the backyard? And he's like, well, yeah, but she could ride around on its back. Daisy being Daisy Doo, the kitty cat. And I'm like, the last thing Daisy wants in her life is to be riding around on a donkey. And I'm like, okay, trying to put some logical stops to this. Well, what will we do when we have those months when it rains every freaking day, all day long? Well, we could just bring it in on the patio. Like, no. Okay. I said, look, okay, so we've got our patio, lawn chairs, table, pool, donkey. I'm like, no, you can't have a donkey living on your patio. And I said, besides, what would happen if we had a hurricane? And he's like, well, we could bring it in the house during a hurricane.
Oh my God, yes, it's the logical thing to do.
I know. And I'm picturing, we're sitting in our chairs in the living room watching television, and now I've got this visual in my head of us trying to watch television around a donkey that would be in the living room with us. So I'm like, no, we're not getting a donkey. We would have no idea what to do with a donkey. We can't have a donkey. So it's like, okay, end of conversation, right? We're done being stupid. So like 5 minutes go by of no real conversation or anything. And then Jack goes, well, if we did get a donkey, what would we name it? And I just come right back with, well, Donkey Doo, because of course it's where we name it. And that just, Jack and I just lost it. We got into one of those giggle fits where you can't stop giggling, you can't talk, you can't breathe, you can't, anything, because now we know how stupid we're being, right?
Right.
So anyway, and that's the end of that.
Past the absurd at this point. Yeah.
So I'm just telling Jenny, Aaron, and Sky the story because it was just kind of a funny little story of the goofballness. Jack used to always say, one of his sayings a lot was, thank God nobody is recording our conversation.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Well, that's probably, he probably felt that the podcast coming, so he was like, I'm going to exit stage left.
Yeah.
The next thing I know, someone's going to record.
They're going to start recording our conversations. Yeah. So anyway, I'm telling Jenny and Aaron and Sky the story, just funny little anecdote, right? Mm-hmm. And they're like, no, he's right. You have to have a donkey. And I'm like,
who took it as a sign? Was it Aaron? Did you think it was like a sign from like someone?
It would seem logical that it would be Aaron, but I think it was Jenny.
Oh, could have been.
And I'm like, no, it's like, oh, here we go again. I'm not getting a donkey. There's not going to be a donkey in my backyard. I doubt very much that I'd be allowed to have a donkey. Even though we have a huge, big old backyard, fenced in, right. I don't know what the donkey rules are. And then pretty soon it's like all three of them against me. You have to get a donkey. That's exactly perfect. That's what Jack would want you to have. You have to have a donkey.
Oh, yeah.
Daisy would love it. Daisy Doo and Donkey Doo. On and on and on. And there was alcohol involved. Jenny did have that part.
Yes. Yes. Yes, as I said, ooh, shocker.
Yeah. But anyway, on and on they go, like, oh, you have to get a donkey. Now they're looking donkeys up on their phones.
Oh, my
And Jenny, she honest to God, is like she's looking for donkey people. Like, well, we can buy you a donkey tomorrow. Yes. We're going to go get a donkey. And she's literally finding out that, yes, of course there are. We're in rural Florida. Of course there's donkeys. Right. So they've got it all planned out. We're going to get a donkey tomorrow, and on and on. And I'm still trying to tell, it's like, no, we're not getting a donkey. I don't know a damn thing about donkeys. You guys don't know anything about donkeys. And Jenny's like, yeah, you just got to, you feed them hay and they just live in your backyard.
Oh, you just feed them hay. They just live in your backyard. Oh, lovely. Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, it would be great. It would be so perfect for you. And I'm like, well, still, again, it rains a lot here. Now, we know you can't keep a donkey out in the rain. And Jenny should know better than anyone because of the time we were at her house and it rained for 24 hours straight and the poor horses were outside. And Bill and Tommy Dunn had to go get the horses, and Tommy scared of horses. And
oh, my God, right. I remember that whole story. That's another story for another time.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Okay.
There was no alcohol involved that time, of course, because we had drank it all.
Right, and you were trapped there.
Hey, we're trapped in a flood. What are you going to do?
Right.
But anyway, that's just the story, is that they were all convinced that I had to have a donkey. And somehow by the end of the night, which was like 2:00 in the morning, they had me thinking that yes, what I needed was a donkey.
That's what Jenny said.
Yeah. It'd be easy. Easy. Great big huge backyard. It's fenced in, you know. It's got plenty
As
of room
Jenny
to
told
roam
me, you've got a spare bedroom.
That's right. Hurricane schmurricane. So, and I'm pretty sure one of their things was you wouldn't even have to have your lawn mowed anymore.
Right.
Because donkey.
Right. Donkey.
It's like, so finally I'm like, okay, we're getting a donkey. So we all go to bed, and then I find out in the morning that poor Jenny and Sky stayed up with donkey puns going all night long, like laughing themselves right out of the bed.
Right.
That they were sharing. So we get up in the morning, and Aaron is like ready to go get a donkey.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking we're going to get a donkey, and I'm like, I don't know, good idea, bad idea, I don't know. And Jenny left out the part where she had actually called the county offices.
Oh, yeah, she did. She did leave that out.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, she neglected to tell that part, or maybe she just forgot. But that's funny.
But she couldn't get through to the donkey division, so she never did learn anything.
Yes, donkey division. Oh God.
But Jenny was the one who had kind of come to her senses and said, I forgot. Dun, dun, dun. You can't just have a donkey. Yeah, donkey buzzkill. Yeah. You can't just have a donkey. They're not solitary animals. They have to have a companion.
Right.
Apparently a cat doesn't cut it.
Oh. So it did in Shrek.
That's true. That worked out perfect.
Yes.
I didn't even think of that.
Right.
Oh, Jenny, we have a counter argument.
Exactly. The donkey could still happen now. Yeah. I see see how good the hat looks on your cat first.
Yeah.
In the boots.
She's just coming to join the conversation, so you might hear some cat conversation.
That's okay.
In a minute.
But you should dress her up like Puss in Boots and then send a picture to the sisters.
Oh yeah,
I heard her.
Yeah. She's like, "What are you doing in here?"
And put the donkey next to her.
But anyway, so Jenny points out that you have to have like 2 bales of hay a day or some ridiculous amount.
Oh yeah, okay.
To feed the donkey.
Right, we forgot about that.
They have to have either a companion donkey or a goat.
Right.
And I'm going, well, Jack, he wanted a goat before he ever wanted a donkey.
It's just another sign.
Yeah, that was.
He wanted both those animals.
Moment before donkey. Yes, we had gone through Saint Bernard goat and we were on to donkey. So
maybe you could get all 3.
Yeah. So, so she's like, okay, you got to feed it a lot. You have to have a farrier out like every 2 months to clip their hooves. Well, and I'm like, okay, well,
this is getting crazy.
We're done now. If I have to have someone coming out, God, I don't even trim my own hooves every 2 months.
Well, you and the donkey could have mani pedi day.
Yeah.
You get a girl donkey.
Yes, she's a farrier. We'll throw in me for free.
I don't know. I'm starting to like the sound of the donkey too. I mean, now you've got a social life. Yeah,
there you go. Yeah.
I mean, every 2 months you're getting those hooves done.
Yeah. But anyway, and plus
I haven't even been drinking, and I'm like losing it. I can't even imagine how it was that night when you guys were all together.
Oh my God! I mean, we were laughing so hard.
I'm like crying over here.
And we just couldn't stop. But then, and also the next day, Jenny points out that you do have to have some kind of shed or lean-to.
No, but then she's still, again, donkey. Guest room.
Yeah, well, and we didn't even get into donkey poop. I don't even know, what the story is on that. But apparently she found out I could have chickens, and I'm like, ixnay on the chickens. My neighbors have chickens. That's good enough. So,
Mom had a chicken, and you probably, then they do come in the house. So,
Yeah, Mom's lived in the house.
Yeah, I know that. That's a story for another podcast, people.
Yes, it
That
is.
wasn't the only crazy animal that lived in that house. Or crazy people.
But anyway, so it's like, oh, now we're all like Eeyore. Oh, gloom, oh, gloom.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
we
then,
can't
wait a
get
minute.
a donkey.
So
So,
back up and then after they got home, you got a package.
yes, like 2 weeks later, I get this package in the mail, and I'm like, and I had like 3 packages come in the mail. And it's like, okay, I don't even remember, what did I order? Who did
Right, yeah.
what the hell? There's one, I'm like looking, I'm going, this just feels weird. I have no idea. So I open it up, and it's a little baby donkey.
Yeah, I think I have a picture of it, but I might have to have you send another one in case I can't find it. So we'll put that on the show notes.
Jenny apparently managed to drink, and what do they call it when you're drinking? Yeah, when you're drinking on Amazon.
Yeah, I don't know. Drink and shop? I don't know.
Yeah, they used to call it drinking and dialing.
Yeah, right.
There's a term. There's a new term though for someone who'll have to fill us in. Someone.
Yeah, someone fill us in out there.
Get in the comment section, because I know there's a term. Anyway, apparently that's what Jenny was doing, because she had ordered this donkey that same night that we're all.
Oh my God, so cute.
Out there under the stars, Donkey Planet. So yeah, and he's adorable.
Yeah, I saw the picture.
Yeah, he's
stinking cute. Sweet. But you seriously have to dress up the cat like Puss in Boots and put it next to that donkey.
You never met my cat.
Okay, it's not happening.
Jenny loves animals, and she thought the donkey was a great idea. So she did a little donkey research.
We're visiting Carrie in her house in Florida. I don't know how it came up, if we were talking about if she ever, I was probably talking about getting a dog, or Sky was, because we always are, and Sky had just gotten her kitten. So we're talking about pets, and Carrie said, Jack always wanted to get a donkey. And, we just kind of all stopped for a second. Yeah, I'm like, okay. And then almost as soon as we're like, okay, what? We're like, that's the perfect pet for you. We're immediately drunkenly convinced that she not only should get a donkey, but that we're going to get her one tomorrow.
Of course.
So, Sky goes in to make another drink or whatever. I'm on my phone looking up donkey peddlers in the region, whatever. I'm trying to find a donkey for sale.
Miniature peddlers.
Okay. Nearest donkey store, whatever.
Right.
And we did find, yeah, exactly. And they're not really surprising. There's donkeys all over the place. So we definitely were like,
that.
This is bound to happen. This is destiny, right? And so Sky and I are full bore, oh my God, we're getting a donkey. This is going to happen. Then we're going through what we're going to name the donkey, all the where you could build a little shelter right there. When it storms out, you could bring him in the house because it's just miniature. And we're going through all the logistics of it. And the whole time, Carrie, just casually, gracefully sitting there, smoking her cigarette, going, You guys are crazy. You know that, right?
Right.
And she's just shaking her head at us the whole time. And then by the end of the, maybe 10 minutes of frenetic, donkey planning.
I'm glad you didn't say donkey play, because that just would have sounded bad.
Well, that's different show, I think. But then she all of a sudden, Carrie's like, I could see it in her face, when she turned the corner towards.
She went down Donkey Lane.
Exactly.
Do it.
She went from Duncanfield to Donkey Lane like that.
Right.
And then that's when I started panic a little bit, because I'm all of a sudden I could tell she got that look in her eye. She's like, yeah, maybe I could get a donkey. In fact, I should get a donkey. I will get a donkey. And then all of a sudden I'm like, oh my God, what have I done? So in my head, I start backpedaling a little bit, and I'm like, well, maybe we should sleep on it. And, we all have some bit of sense left in our beings at that point. So we're just like, yeah, okay, let's maybe reconvene the donkey planning tomorrow. So we all go to bed.
But I heard that you got up and checked out what the deal, if you really could have a donkey.
Oh no, Sky and I both were still that night and in the morning. I think you're right. We were trying to look up city ordinances. We found I could have 4 chickens, but we couldn't find anything about donkeys.
I think chickens might be a better deal for her.
Yeah, chickens are fun.
Yeah, and you can bring them in the house, as we know from Mom.
Erin is highly empathetic and really cares about how people feel. And she was all for the donkey and pretty upset when it didn't happen.
I was so pissed off the next morning when Jenny so matter-of-factly gets out of bed, comes out and says, we're not getting a donkey. We're not getting a donkey. We're not doing this. I was like heartbroken because I wanted to go get a donkey and I really thought, okay, I'm going to wake up, I'm going to get dressed and we're going to get this donkey.
We're going donkey shopping.
Okay, so this is fuzzy, but I think that that Jenny or Sky did some research to see if she could even have a donkey.
Yes, I heard that.
Yeah,
and Jenny called the county donkey department. According to, that's what Carrie said. Jenny called the county donkey department.
Right, but the most endearing part of this whole fact that Carrie looked like there was just something about the way that she looked about it because Jack wanted a donkey and I think she felt like this was doing something for Jack. Obviously, we all kind of felt that way, but I don't know. It was the look on her face, the sincerity of, oh my God, I'm going to get a donkey.
Right, because
she was believing it by the end of the night.
Yeah, so it was. She said at a certain point, at first she was like, this is absurd, but by the end of the night, she was like, yes.
Right, and I think that is probably due to Jenny and her evidently she is a great salesperson. I don't know.
Yes.
Yeah. So anyway. The story from my perspective isn't that great other than the fact that I was severely disappointed that we weren't going to get one the next morning. So, and then I later
seriously went to bed thinking we're getting up, we're going donkey shopping. And this
because
is like a big day in our lives.
Right, because why wouldn't you?
Oh my God.
Right, because she has a big yard. She totally could have just got a dog house. Put the donkey in it when it rains or bring it to the house. I don't know.
Everyone says the thing about bringing it in the house. That's awesome.
I know. But then Jenny introduced this idea that I'm sure she knows all about this. You have to have a partner animal.
Right.
To the donkey. So.
And then it was a goat.
I don't know. Even that sounded okay that night. Let's get that too.
Thanks so much for listening. Today's show is in honor of Jack. If you enjoyed this show, please share it with a friend. Subscribe on iTunes and leave us a review. We are an independent podcast, and the only way for us to get found is with your help, and we really appreciate you. So it turns out you can keep a donkey in the house, in the guest room, or anywhere you want, if you order it off Amazon like Jenny did for Carrie. You can check out pictures of the donkey in our Facebook group, How in the Hell Did I Get Here, the podcast, or on the website in the show notes, howinthehellpodcast.com. You'll also find more information about Jack and the rest of us. Today's show was produced by Kim A. Floden and features Carrie Floden, Jenny Gardner, and Aaron Beach. Our music is by Silent Partner. Meet you back here next week for more How in the Hell Did I Get Here stories. Until then, pay attention, my friends. You just never know when you might find yourself saying, how in the hell did I get here?